apologize if I hit you with the white girl voice.
Your message has been deleted.
Pretty girl from the 612.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Let's talk about the HTC U Ultra. And I guess it's a U Play. Who cares about the smaller version? So yes, there are two versions of this phone. We will be talking about the Ultra, which is the balls to the wall version, and HTC is added again. I like what they're doing here. I think I prefer the metal unibody designs of old. I thought that was their identity, but whatever. What I like about this decision, and I'll tell you about that decision in a second, is that they are continuing to think how to push themselves. What decision is that? This thing is glass. It's glass in the front, it's glass on the back, and it looks wild. I want to really see this thing in person, and all of the videos, you can. It's really got this pearlescent glow to it, and it's super dope, very attractive design. I like what HTC is doing here. I pretty much can't say anything bad about it. And I mean, you know, for years, this is what a lot of HTC fanboys, and although I don't consider myself a fanboy of HTC, I really do love that brand. But this is what keeps you attached to that brand, is the designs of their products are always on point. And to their UI, their Sense UI, right? So at the very least, I would say HTC knows how to make a beautiful phone, and this is it all over again. They're pushing themselves. They got rid of the metal. Been there, done that, they're saying, and they're doing glass. So how about that? And even with the top tier model of this, which is a 128 gig version or variant, it comes with a sapphire front. And that is interesting, right? Because Apple's been using sapphire on the Touch IDs on the iPhones, and you'll find sapphires on your watches, and you know they're very durable, very scratch resistant. So something that's important to an all glass phone like this. The lower models, the 64 and the 32, those guys only have the Gorilla 5, and I say only like Gorilla 5 isn't a good thing, but you get what I'm saying. Display wise, it has a 5.7 inch display, UHD resolution, and it's a Super LCD 5, which is always HTC's thing. They don't really mess with the AMO LED. They're very faithful to LCD, and their reasoning is always more accuracy on the colors. You know, whatever. Who the hell cares? The specs, it comes home with the Snapdragon 821. I thought that was particularly interesting because most of the flagships that we're hearing that's getting announced these days are coming with the 835, and I always wonder why did HTC not choose the 835? And it's almost a thing with them. They always have a slightly slower processor. I'm not sure why. And 4 gigs of RAM. Again, most phones are coming, even some of the budget phones I've seen. What is that Asus Zoom or whatever? I don't know. That thing has 6 gigs of RAM. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But I guess 4 is enough. The cameras are more of the same. You've got the 12 megapixel shooter on the back, which is what we've seen in the last versions of HTC. So hopefully we can see what features when the phone touches down and they've completed everything that they've included. I think HTC usually does some really good stuff with the software end of their cameras. The boom sound is still there. Not the boom sound of old, but the boom sound where the top speaker in the front is actually the tweeter, so to speak, and the speaker on the bottom is the bass or the woofer, however you would say that. I mean, other than that, there's just the HTC Sense. There's one big feature I'm missing out. We'll circle back. There's a HTC Sense Companion now. I think I need some more time. I need to see this in action. So what HTC is doing here is quite different than what we've seen. If you think of something like S Voice from Samsung, S Voice entirely replaces Google Now or Google Assistant, and it's its own thing, and it prompts, it comes up its own way. But HTC Sense is actually hanging out in the background of Google Now. So it allows Google Now to do its things, but it adds to the robust behavior of Google Now and the things it can do. And it sort of serves as I would say a liaison between Google Now and the apps that aren't integrated in that service. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work. HTC said it'll do things like predict contacts that you text and predict certain events from apps that you use regularly. So I think that stuff's really cool. But the reason I forgot about this feature I'm going to mention is because it's easily forgettable to me. And I think it's still a gimmick. This is the secondary display that's not centered at the top of the screen, by the way. It drives me crazy looking at it. And this guy, again, HTC, saying it's more so for the HTC Sense Companion stuff. And it also displays regular notifications, text message, yada, yada, yada. Something like you've seen on the LG V10 and V20 phones. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, if that's where the extra money had to go, instead of getting that 835 processor, I'd be disappointed to know that. But, you know, I'll reserve judgment until I get my hands on one to see how that secondary display really changes my habits, changes my life. Every time I've asked people who've owned the V10 and the V20 how that secondary display has benefited them, they say it really hasn't. It's there, they like it, but it didn't really change anything about the experience. So this is why I classify it as a gimmick, but maybe HTC got it right when they paired it with the companion stuff that they're doing. Who knows? All in all, I think HTC is continuing on their path in the right direction. I think this focus is definitely what they need and what they need to execute on. I like what I see, and I like the consistency of the products that they have going forward. And I mean, priced at $750, this is not a cheap phone. I would love to see HTC really challenge themselves and come down in the sub $500 market. I think that's where they would make a killing. That's where they can get back in the horse and just dominate like they used to. But for now, this is what we have. So I imagine a lot of us is going to be relying on those carrier subsidiaries to get this phone. And there's some of us that don't live in the US and will be spending crazy money to get this phone. But I think it's worth it. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I like what HTC is doing here. Kudos to them. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Any HTC fanboys still out there? I know there's a ton of you on the channel. Speak up, let yourself be heard. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, who the hell knows, and subscribe. We got plenty more content coming. Hit the little bell next to that subscription button. I'll let you know the minute we make a video live. My name is Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace.